25 years ago, a pregnant 12-year-old girl disappeared 2 weeks before her due date. What happened to Celina Jeanette Mays?
Three Mysteries examines the case of Celina Mays. The 12-year-old from Burlington County vanished 25 years ago. She was 9 months pregnant. There have been few clues surrounding her disappearance, but detectives are not giving up hope. Here's Joe Holden.
From all appearances, Celina Mays was a happy 12-year-old. She lived on this quiet suburban street in Willingboro with family. She sang in her church choir. But 9 months before her December 1996 disappearance, she was 11 and became pregnant.
She went missing in the middle of the night, as her father reported to us. She did not give birth yet. She was 9 months pregnant.
Willingboro Police Detective Monica Pogorzelski inherited the 25-year-old cold case, an investigation that has failed to conclude where is Celina.
We're not sure. We have investigated over 254 leads throughout the past 25 years. Recently we've had 4 more leads that we're now investigating.
Detectives say the Mays family had a very strong connection to this Mount Holly church. It's been closed for more than 10 years, but was known as the Gospel of Christ Ministry. The former pastor is now deceased and other church leaders unreachable. It hasn't been easy for police, though. Their early efforts to obtain a search warrant blocked by a judge, frustrating their attempts to get answers.
They were involved completely with the church organization. Her aunt, Rita Smith, was the pastor. She also since has passed. Many people who were alive at the time of her disappearance have now passed.
Over the years, age progression photos have shown us what Celina looks like today. Surviving family members are hopeful for answers.
As far as we know, she was accepting of the pregnancy, ready to move forward. So for her to go missing after carrying a baby for 9 months, it's very strange.
There's possibly a connection.
There could be.
One of those many theories that you're examining.
We have many theories.
Police say it's possible Mays could be living now with a different name. Even unaware police are looking for her. They say the church had affiliations in other states. It's long been held leadership at the closed down worship site encouraged other members to avoid cooperating with police. We looked for any clues to try and reach someone, but the place appeared to be long vacant.
The congregation was a very large congregation. Maybe someone knows something, and we hope that someone might come forward.
Do you have information on what happened to Celina Mays? Willingboro Police would like you to call them at 609-877-2200, extension 1080.
Do you think about this case often?
Yes, every day. Every day. Yes.
Celina Jeanette Mays was born on May 28, 1984, to father C.J. Mays and mother Lynn Marie Vitale. Celina is biracial, with her father being black and her mother white. Celina's parents provided her with a not-so-good home life. The two never married and allegedly had a tumultuous relationship with some incidences of domestic violence. CJ was a musician at the time he met Lynn and had a drug and alcohol problem, while Lynn had been an exotic dancer and was also addicted to drugs. Eventually, the couple turned their lives around, and in 1986, they moved from Miami, Florida to Palmyra, New Jersey. Now, with the move, Lynn left her job as an exotic dancer and became a janitor. Unfortunately, Lynn passed away from a brain aneurysm in 1994. Now, after her death, Lynn's family attempted to gain custody of Celina, citing CJ's criminal history involving domestic abuse and drug use. But CJ said that since moving from Florida to New Jersey, he had left that life behind, finding religion. Now, Celina lived with some of her mother's friends until CJ was actually able to get custody of her, and then the two moved from Palmyra to Willingboro, New Jersey. By 1996, 12-year-old Celina was living with her father, her stepmother, and several other relatives. Her father, CJ, had continued to improve in life and was employed as an accountant and bookkeeper for the Gospel of Christ Ministries based in Mount Holly, New Jersey. His sister, Rita Smith, was the pastor of that church. Celina's father, CJ, and the rest of the family raised Celina as a member of the church as well. Celina was homeschooled and grew up with strict religious beliefs from this church. Now, it was rumored that the Gospel of Christ Ministries was actually attempting to operate as a cult. And in the late 1990s, former members claimed that the church was utilizing brainwashing techniques on its congregations. Now, Celina's aunt, CJ's sister, Sarita Smith, who was the pastor of the church, was accused of leading the church in an authoritarian style and was being controlling of both the church and her family. So with her family being such strict religious people, it was a shock when 12-year-old Celina announced that she was pregnant. Celina's father and her stepmother demanded that Celina tell them who she was pregnant by. Celina claimed that the father of her child was 16 years old and not a member of their church, but she refused to reveal his identity, at which point Celina's father threatened her with paternity tests. 2 weeks before her due date, Celina would disappear. On December 15th, 1996, Celina came home from church and enjoyed a nice bowl of ice cream with her family. She kissed them goodnight at 11 p.m., said thanks for everything, and went to her room. Looking back at this moment, Celina's family later said that they felt she was telling them goodbye at that time. The next morning, Celina's 4-year-old stepsister went to wake her up for breakfast, but all she found was a pile of pillows and blankets made to appear as though Celina was asleep under the covers. When her father checked the room, he found that all of Celina's personal belongings were left behind, including her prenatal vitamins and her purse. The preteen was just 2 weeks away from giving birth. Now, a large-scale search was conducted and missing flyers were posted all over town, but Celina was nowhere to be found. Her mother's family accused Celina's father of being involved in her disappearance, while he actually insisted that they were the ones that kidnapped her and taken her back to Florida. Now, suspicion also fell on the Gospel of Christ ministry due to the allegations that were made about the pastor, who again was Celina's aunt, the alleged brainwashing and controlling ways that she had. But the pastor accused disgruntled ex-members of the church of hiding Celina. But Celina's father believed that his daughter had planned her disappearance mainly because he had threatened the paternity test be performed to learn the identity of the unborn child's father. Now, when authorities began interviewing friends, family, and others, they interviewed Celina's father, CJ, but they stated that he was very uncooperative. And in the years following her disappearance, the investigation continued and they lost touch with CJ. He died in the year 2019. Now, some of Celina's relatives' views somewhat supported CJ's theory, telling the press that they believe she was murdered by the baby's father to prevent his identity from being revealed, or possibly she died as the result of an amateur abortion. Celina's aunt believes that the father of her baby was an individual she met while roller skating in Camden County, New Jersey. Now, the baby's father, if he is ever identified, could be charged with rape due to Celina's age at the time she became pregnant. Celina's obstetrician, whom she last saw 2 days before her disappearance, told officials that she never identified her baby's father. The obstetrician described Celina as an emotionally mature girl. She reportedly told her doctor that her boyfriend was 16 years old and was not a member of her church. Now, both sides of the family have accused the other of hiding Celina. Several of Celina's maternal relatives believe that foul play was involved in her case. Now, no evidence has been produced to support any of their theories. Investigators said Celina went missing in the middle of the night and had not given birth yet. 9 months pregnant with only 2 weeks left before giving birth is very strange for her to go missing, they said, especially given the fact that she was very accepting of her pregnancy. Now, authorities have no information concerning Celina's child's father, and statements made by others were purely speculation, although it has been rumored that one of Celina's cousins actually fathered her child. He was interviewed several times by authorities after she disappeared, but denied any knowledge of Celina's whereabouts. He has since fathered 7 children by 4 different women and is now an adult and married to the mother of 4 of his children. Now, there have been numerous unconfirmed sightings of Celina in the years since her disappearance. In the weeks immediately after her disappearance, she was supposedly seen in Lacey Township and Hopewell Township in New Jersey, but these have not been confirmed. Celina has family members on her mother's side living in Michigan and Florida. Her mother left her a large life insurance policy, which she is now eligible to collect since she has turned 18. Investigators are calling Celina's case a missing persons case, not a homicide, and it remains unsolved. It has been 25 years since Celina's disappearance. Now, at the time of her disappearance, she was 9 months pregnant and may have been wearing a long red coat. She was 5 feet 0 inches tall with black hair and brown eyes. Authorities say that they have received more than 250 leads over the 25 years that Celina has been missing. In 1997, a promising lead was called into authorities. The owner of a local restaurant in Howell, New Jersey, believed he saw Celina dining with friends and she was not pregnant. Detectives chased the tip down, but it was later determined the sighting was not Celina. Now, the road has not been easy for investigators that have been on this case, even having their efforts blocked to have a judge sign off on a search warrant earlier on in the investigation. It's also been said that members of the church that Celina belonged to, the family encouraged them not to cooperate with the police when being questioned. Now, Celina has been missing for 25 years, and investigators believe that it's possible she could still be connected to her faith today and is actually unaware that authorities are even looking for her. It's also possible that she could be using another name. If alive, Celina would be 37 and her child would be 25. If you have any information regarding her disappearance, contact the Willingboro Police Department at 609-877-2200, extension 1080. You can also reach out to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST, and you can also call or text the In Pursuit hotline directly at 833-378-7783. Okay, so my thoughts on this, it's kind of complicated, and I'm going to issue a trigger warning. So if you are, uncomfortable with incest, molestation, any of that type of conversation, you can end the video now. Thank you for watching, and you can come back at another time. I appreciate your support, but I'm definitely inclined to believe that an 11-year-old, because she was 11 at the time that she conceived. She was 12 when she went missing, 9 months pregnant, 2 weeks away from birth, but she was 11 at the time she conceived. I can't imagine a 16-year-old getting an 11-year-old pregnant. It just doesn't scream that to me. It screams incest, molestation by a possible family member or church member. I believe there was some type of cover up because other adults knew who it was that got her pregnant. And it's possible that she could have met her demise by, possible family members or church members or people that know exactly who the father of the baby was. I just don't feel a 16-year-old got her pregnant. So this case is really disturbing. It's sad. The father in 2019 passed away with not being cooperative with authorities. He was never cooperative from the time of the investigation. Then it's possible the cousin, they said it was rumored that he was the father of the child. So in any event, I believe that Celina was a victim of abuse, sexual abuse. I do not believe that it was a 16-year-old, and I think she was scared. She was in an environment where the adults were very controlling. The church was fanatic. It was a cult-like lifestyle. So she was very afraid. She probably was afraid for her life, and she didn't want to tell. You know, when you're in a situation like that and you're in an environment like that, you feel there's no way out. No one's going to believe you. You're going to be stuck in this. And so you just keep quiet because you're scared. So I believe that whoever the adult is, you know, they figured she was 2 weeks away from giving birth. Once she went to that hospital and gave birth, they were going to find out who gave, you know, who she was pregnant by. The secret was going to be revealed. So it could have been that she met her demise because of that. But it just doesn't scream that she went off missing, that she just would walk out of the house, sneak out of the window. How would she get out of the window at 9 months pregnant? You know, she would have had to crawl out of the window. And looking at the house, it was a 1-level rancher type home. So it wasn't like she had to jump out the window or, you know, scale down the window. It probably was kind of low to the ground, but she still would have had trouble getting out of the window 9 months pregnant, you know, or if she walked out of the house and snuck out while everybody was sleeping, there would have been some evidence of that. The police, when they did the investigation, they would have been able to find evidence of that. But still and yet, I don't even know if they did a search of the home, because they said that the search warrant was actually blocked in the beginning of the investigation. So there's a lot of unanswered questions here. There's a lot of, I'm just side-eyeing the theory that it was a 16-year-old, you know, with the aunt trying to throw people off by saying, oh, she probably met someone while she was at the skating rink. It just doesn't seem like she was even going to the skating rink. She was homeschooled. It was a religious fanatic group, but she's allowed to go skating. Just doesn't sound right to me. So I don't even see how she would have freedom enough to get pregnant by a 16-year-old. It just seems to me that she was molested, or there was some type of incest at the hands of a family member or a church member. So that's my thoughts on this very sad case. You guys drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about this. Again, if you have any information, please dial the numbers or contact the numbers in the description box below. Again, this has been another edition of the Sweet Pea Diaries. Be sure to like the video, share the video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye, guys.